Rachel Collier says, is correcting your parents biblical? What do you do if they do not respect correction? Well, Rachel, correcting your parents is biblical. I think the question is how you correct them. Do you correct them with harshness? Do you correct them with humility? Do you correct them while recognizing your position with them and showing them respect or is it like, ha, I got you this time, you're wrong, I'm right on this one? That's petty. That would be, the correction wasn't necessarily wrong, but the method was wrong. And the second thing to consider is this correction worthwhile? Am I bringing correction that actually has value to it? I don't correct everything I see in people, and they don't correct everything they see in me. Imagine my marriage if me and my wife both tried to correct everything that we saw that the other person did that we thought was that wasn't as good as it could have been. That would be a problem. So I would recommend not doing that and let correction be because it's important. But you asked this also. You said, hey, what do I do if they don't respect correction? Let me share this verse with you real quick, though. I think it's 1 Timothy 5. Here we go. Here we go. This applies to parents. Yeah. Do not rebuke an older man, but encourage him as you would a father, younger men as brothers, older women as mothers, younger women as sisters in all purity. Here's the thought, biblically speaking. Paul's telling Timothy, when you have to bring correction, rebuke to an older man, don't just rebuke him. Even though what you're bringing is correction, you're telling him they're wrong, bring it in the form of encouragement as if he was your father. This is in a climate where Paul knows that you just don't talk to your dad the way that you talk to your buddy. And he says, talk to these older people the way you talk to your dad, because it's inherently assumed that Timothy would never talk to his dad harshly, be like, Dad, you're just wrong here, but instead would bring it with encouragement. He would bring it with humility. He would bring it with an attitude of submission. And he goes, try to do that when you have to correct an older gentleman, Timothy, who was younger especially. And then older women as mothers, same is true for mothers. So there's a gentleness and a respect that's there that we want to have when we bring correction to our parents when it's necessary. The other thing you said was, what do I do if they don't respond? What if my parents don't care and they don't respond to correction? That's not on you. Your job was to bring the correction. Your job isn't to actually make them correct. It's just to bring it, and then they deal with it, and it's between them and the Lord. And I do think that if you have people who repeatedly reject your correction over and over again, they reject it, and all it does is create chaos in the relationship, is that it's okay to just say, all right, you're on your own. You've made it very clear you don't want to hear my correction. If I see an open door one day, a big emergency, I'll bring it again. But otherwise, there's no fruit in it. And we can do this. We will, if we're in the bad guy situation here, if I'm the bad guy here, I can train everyone around me that they all know they can't bring me correction because I respond so badly to it. And that's a danger. You don't want to train people that way. But if you're in that situation and these people are treating you this way, even God leaves people alone after a while. And so doesn't mean he doesn't continue reaching out to them, but the kinds of correction that are brought, there's a time where you can say, okay, I'm not going to keep laboring over this fruitless thing. I'm going to come back to it later, once in a while, but not all the time.